didn't choose the hairstyle. The hairstyle chose me. Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, I'm Fat Sajak, and I would do anything for love. But I won't do that. You're sick. Today, I'm gonna try to use my mom voice. And I don't mean like the voice of a mother, I mean like my mom voice, to talk about Amber Portwood. Because frankly, I initially planned to film this when my whole house was asleep. But currently, my whole house is not even here right now. But I don't like the sound of my own voice when I yell. So, which isn't much different from the way I enjoy the sound of my own voice when I'm speaking in a hushed, mumbly tone. Instead of speaking at the volume that this video will deserve, I'm just going to take it upon myself to use my mom voice, to get the job done. And since Amber Portwood is not familiar with the mom voice, or really anything pertaining to being a mom, I think this will suffice. So if you're new around here, make sure you're subscribed. If you're old around here, back off, because that's my job. Also, make sure you're still subscribed, in case YouTube was like, bye. Because that's not me, baby. That's not me. That's YouTube. That's you. That's my employer working against me. Also, make sure you like the video, all that jazz. Check out any links down below, etc., 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 for the rest of my Teen Mom content, or my Teen Mom 10, however you want it. Which includes the full season rewatches of Teen Mom 2 that we've been doing. We're also going to hit OG, Family Reunion, the next chapter, Young and Pregnant, and I'm still deep diving on some of the ladies as well. But for everything that I've already done, both of those playlists are down below. Y'all have turned me into the teen mom lady, I guess. Now, if you don't know Amber Portwood is of 16 and pregnant and eventually teen mom fame. And she's... well, she just is. Let me give you the briefest of summaries so that if you are not in the know, you can be in the know and then you'll know, okay? So Amber got knocked up by her now ex, Gary. Together they had their daughter, Leah, back in, I believe, 2008 or 2009? 2009? She's 16, math, probably 2009, sure. I'm not gonna look it up. It's fine. It was then. Was Ed Hardy popular? Yeah, she was there. You know, she was born then. Amber was physically abusive toward Gary, which was caught on camera. That is not alleged. It was, there's visuals. I did do a deep dive on Amber, so if you want to go watch that, you can do that. Because of Indiana law, the fact that she was abusive toward Gary physically in front of their daughter, Leah, Amber was charged for a felony for that. Amber brought strange men that she met at Walmart around Leah and let one of them, she didn't even really know, change Leah's diaper. Amber ended up with a prescription pill problem, among other things. Amber ended up in jail, aka prison, in lieu of going to a drug rehab program. When Amber was released, she jumped right into a relationship with a human grease stain from the bottom of a bag of Ruffles potato chips named Matt Bear, who also had like 175 children with about 750 women. You do the math on that one. Amber eventually left Matt, which was very dramatic and very stupid. But she wasn't single or around her daughter for long. She jumped right into a new relationship with Andrew, who was friggin' taller than... I don't know, he was really tall. The good news, though, is that she immediately got pregnant with her son, James. She eventually tried to attack Andrew while holding her child with a machete. There's also audio and I believe video evidence of this occurring. This all led to her losing custody of her son, and Andrew moved back to California, I think, with her son James. She also no longer has full custody of Leah, and now that Leah is a full-on teenager at the age of 16, she is realizing she wants little to nothing to do with Amber, which don't we all? Leah has been in the care of her dad Gary and his wife Christina for probably as long as she can remember, and Christina is the real MVP and the woman we all consider to be Leah's mother and the woman that Leah wants to adopt her. Amber was rude and embarrassing and very late and drinking at Leah's 15th birthday party, which resulted in Leah crying at her own birthday party after her mom called her a dick. But don't worry, guys, because Amber's fine, and she's got a new man, also named Gary. And that's really the priority for her, always. Except for that man made a really weird proposal on TV at a very random time. And then he went missing, like a missing persons, like a literal missing persons, like it was on the news. And it was simply to get away from Amber. Seriously, that's a thing that happened. All the while, Leah is pulling farther and farther away from Amber. Understandably so. And most recently, Christina said it's been months since they've had contact. Now, during all of these instances, and there are more instances, that is the most simplified version I could possibly give you. Amber was, of course, Amber, and not at all, stable or level-headed or not screaming on the internet. Well, that's not true. She wasn't screaming on the internet for like a solid 10 minutes. But nowadays, she hops on TikTok live all the time. And every time she does, she is being called out by the audience at large. And then, of course, because of all that, and her insistence that she's a good mom and an involved mom, and she's a boss and things like that, which we covered recently in a video, she starts crashing out and melting down because she's trying to, I guess, gaslight her entire audience into believing that she is somehow like the hero and the victim, and not just like in her own existence, but like in everyone else's, and like she's been so wronged, and yeah, all that good stuff that narcissists and emotionally abusive people don't do. They don't do that. So it's good to see that that's not what's happening. Anyway, the last time we talked about her being on a live, she crashed out pretty hard. And apparently she's been doing it again. I haven't yet watched this, but I've had it saved since it happened. LB, as always with the receipts, has a big chunk of this live saved. I think it's maybe 5 minutes or so. I figured we could watch it together because apparently it's very blamey. And when I say blamey, that is to imply that not only is Gary not off limits for blaming Amber for Amber's own misfortunes in life. Let's call them misfortunes. For the way that Amber's life is. She wants to find someone to blame. I have a few points to make, but let's watch this live and see if we can start the countdown to when she starts melting down. I give it about 4 seconds.
The world would be nicer if I owned up to everything that I've already owned up to. True, though. What are y'all talking about? I'm 34.
I'm not sure how your age is relevant, but okay.
This has been going on for years. I'm not buzzed. Oh my God. Facts on what? What are you talking about, Ashley McClinney? 4 months no contact with your daughter is crazy. I didn't go 4 months no contact with my daughter. You guys keep on being told that I'm going no contact with my daughter like I'm doing that. No, I was told to stay away.
And as a parent, perhaps having contact with Gary and Christina, checking in about Leah, even if you're not directly contacting her, showing a little effort, showing that you care, showing that you remember her name.
Like, not to stay away, but like all that stuff.
So you weren't told to stay away. You were just told all that stuff. Got it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I would never do that, actually. Like, I want to have my daughter with me. I would love to have my daughter with me. I would love to do mom and daughter things. It's up to her that she doesn't want to be around me at the moment while she's doing therapy. I understand, but
even if I could extend the benefit of the doubt to Amber and say, maybe she doesn't realize the way that comes off. She knows how that comes off. She's putting the onus on Leah. Well, she's in therapy and she doesn't want to be in contact with me, so if it weren't her trying to become a victim, she would just say, oh, yeah. Well, right now Leah's in therapy and the distance between us, even though it's hard on me, is what she wants in order to be able to process things effectively. So we'll be back in contact soon. We're both working through our things. When you want to be a victim, what you do is you go on live and you go, what do you mean? Leah chose this. So like, I respect that. That's why I'm on live talking about it.
She doesn't remember anything, guys. She said it on the show that she didn't remember anything bad and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's kind of weird how trauma is the thing that your brain shields you from, and then it comes up as you your brain starts to develop cognitively. And in therapy, we're going to talk about the clip that she's talking about as well, because I think it's important to see.
And that the only time that she remembered anything was when she didn't remember anything though. She would watch like clips from online, and she said that's what she hated.
Whether she okay, let's say she didn't remember any of it. She doesn't remember any of it at all. Her whole life up until this point is documented with this, save for like there were probably maybe like 2 or 3 years, not consecutively, but like a handful of time where they weren't being filmed. You think that she was never going to run into clips like that? Run into clips of you treating her badly, or her father badly, who raised her, or talking badly about him, or talking badly about Christina? Like, the fact that she's so, I don't want to say unaware, because I know she's not unaware, but like so flippant about the fact that all of this stuff is out there. Wouldn't you want to work through that with your kid if you actually cared about them? Or...
So it's not trauma.
You don't get to decide that. You don't get to decide that. Seeing something, just because you weren't there for... Oh, maybe I am just going to yell. Your body memory, your nervous system, your brain, they all work together to hide your trauma. They all work together to repress those. It's a natural response, right? For some people, everything is on your heart on your sleeve type shit. You can't call any of this not trauma. No, Leah may never remember, and again, we're going to go to the clip that she's referencing. No, Leah may never remember the time she was sitting in a car seat and you smacked her dad across the face, for example. But that doesn't mean that seeing that or knowing that it happened repeatedly, that doesn't mean that it doesn't have a traumatic effect on her. Honestly, learning the truth about someone that you've tried to let into your life, and you've been told it's important to let into your life, and it's important to love that person and keep them around, learning who they actually are and the way they actually behave towards people that you do love because they have shown you that they're good people and that they love you and that they're not going anywhere, that is traumatic. You don't get to decide trauma for anybody else, especially your children.
She doesn't have trauma. Thank God.
You're an idiot, Amber Portwood.
Guys, not everything is trauma. It's not denial. You can't call that trauma. I didn't beat her. I didn't. She's traumatized about what?
Girl, you don't have to beat someone to traumatize them. First of all, you beat her dad up. So if she ever sees that clip, that's traumatic. You also spent her whole life dipping in and out, being inconsistent as hell, falling through on your promises, fucking like making her feel bad about not feeling comfortable staying at your house. Like, you have done enough that we've all watched, those of us who have watched the show over the years have watched you traumatize this little girl. Period. She's got trauma. And if you sit here, I hope she never talks to you again. Genuinely. I hope Leah has the therapist of all therapists who can help her through this, and she goes no contact with Amber, because fuck that.
Delusional. I'm delusional because I have a brain? No, she's not traumatized because of me. I didn't do anything to her like that.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It adds up. You don't have to beat a kid to give him trauma.
The yelling, yeah, that happened 3 years. Less than 3 years. And that was on and off. It's not trauma.
It is, though. It is. Even if it makes you feel better to say that it isn't, it still is. It still is. Because right now she's in therapy. She's opening all of those treasure chests full of your yelling and violence. So you don't get to decide that for her.
Jesus Lord, guys, stop. It was a couple years of being gone. And then ever since then, I was on her life. What are you talking about?
Girl, not only Not only are you explaining how it could be trauma and then denying that it is, you're doing it very badly. You are not good at gaslighting at all.
You guys keep forgetting I went to school for this. Y'all, just shut up and quit. Just shut up. It's ridiculous to come on here and like try to relax in between me, like, cleaning my freaking house.
First of all, you went to school for what? You didn't go to school for shit. Get a job. Get off your couch. Second of all, if you want to relax, get off the live. You're 34. You're not going to get supporters in your chat outweighing the people who are trying to give you a reality check. That's never going to happen until you change your behavior, until you treat your daughter well, until you humble yourself into realizing that you're no fucking parent. You never have been. And clearly, you never will be. Because you're 34 years old complaining on a live because people are telling you the truth. And you know what? I bet Leah's going to be so glad to hear that there's another live. I'm sure this is really fulfilling for her and really helpful. And it's really going to work wonders for your relationship. Don't play me about my hydration.
And you guys are talking about denial and all this shit and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to listen to this stuff. I live the life. Jesus. Who's traumatized?
Oh, go fuck yourself.
Who's a victim? Who? Y'all are not my kids. You are not my kids.
Yeah, thank God for that. Even if we were, would you even know? Would you be around?
Like the day my son wants to tell me I'm not there for him, like that's what my son will tell me. The day that my daughter wants to say she's pissed off at me because of my past and me being a drug addict and having mental illnesses and going to prison and things like that, then that's what the fuck she's saying right now. Like, get over it.
Get over it. Or how about people care about your daughter? How about people care about the way that you've treated her? And fine, let's say off camera, you are the greatest, sweetest peach of a mother. The things that we've seen on camera are enough to be concerned. You're not going to gaslight an entire audience of people into believing you when we can see it with our own eyes. And Leah is old enough to express how it makes her feel to see things like that.
Damn, I had a way worse life than she can imagine. I know more than half of you guys did. You can't sit there and do that with your kids. You cannot sit there and pamper to the point of you've apologized for years and the people are being pushed away from you and you're still apologizing.
Pamper them. You can't pamper Leah. You can't pamper her by apologizing and showing her different behavior. Because, like, that's what's required. Staying in therapy yourself, staying on your medication, and working on your relationship. Not saying you're working on your relationship. Not pinning it on her. And sure as hell not talking about how you had it way worse than she did. Whoa. Okay, are you the new doormat mom? You're gonna be the most unsufferable woman when Leah decides to go full no contact. I swear to God. And honestly, Amber deserves it.
But it has nothing to do with anything except for the fact that there's stuff being looked at online or things like that from years ago. So quit. I don't know what you're doing, but like there's a lot of hate on here for no reason. I feel like I don't really know why it's really any of like the negative people on here. Why is it your business?
Why is it the positive people's business? This is my favorite argument for anything, is when either a fan of somebody or the person themselves is like, oh my God, you're so negative. Why do you think your opinion matters? Why does the other side of the opinion matter? Because it's positive? Because it's more palatable? It doesn't make it less true because it doesn't feel positive. Negativity begets negativity. If you don't want to see as much negativity in your streams, if you don't want to see as much negativity in the chat, then maybe, just maybe, there are some things you could work on to emanate positivity. Literally, the only thing these people want is you to be accountable for yourself, truly, and to put that effort that you spend in these insane TikTok lives into your relationship with your daughter. A healthy, functional relationship. But here you are, and I assume midday on a Tuesday, on TikTok complaining because the audience isn't clapping their hands because you woke up another day and decided to pretend to be a parent, even though you have custody of neither of those kids, and one of them won't talk to you, and the other one is several states away. Congratulations, Amber, you did it. We're all so very proud.
And why are my pupils your business either? And why is my mental health your business? If you don't know who I am, then just move along. Karma from what? You can't have karma, Emily, if you didn't do anything. When you stop doing the negative things.
I love how she's always so surprised. It's so surprising that you would say these things. I can't imagine the 10 years I spent on TV would have some kind of profound effect on how people see me. That's just insane.
Philosophers, you're not philosophical people. You're not, unless you are, I don't know.
Great point.
Like, you're not, that was beautiful, by the way. Unless you're a writer or a prophet or a poet. I don't want to hear I make fair look like a saint. I think you're pushing that, honey. You need to go sit down. We're going to put you in the corner. Why do I need to go to rehab? Honey, I am completely sober. This is medication. My, literally, mental illness medication.
Which ones? List them. Hurry up.
Why would I go to rehab? What am I going to rehab for? I don't drink. I'm not doing any drugs. Like, what am I going to rehab for? I don't understand, guys.
I think you understand. I'm not accusing Amber Portwood of still having a drug problem. I just think that the playing stupid is stupid.
You can't, like, what? Like, don't you have to do, like, drug stuff to go to rehab? Like, I don't know. Denial? Because I'm not. It's denial because... What in the hell? No hope. 50%, guys, wow. Narcissistic? Again, guys, I'm on a show, but I'm 34 now.
I know, and we're all still waiting for you to act like it.
34. Use your brains. Stop it.
What the hell does that even mean? You could be 54 and still be a garbage dump of a human being. And a garbage dump of a parent. Your age is not relevant here.
Let me be 34 and not keep... It's not mania, darling. I know myself. I'm 34.
Okay, then get a real job and get off of TikTok Live. You're embarrassing.
I don't have mania. It's 2:18 in the afternoon. I was taking a break. All right, so I see everybody who wants to be negative. So I love you, positive people, today. It was amazing.
Great. Yeah. All you positive people out there that are feeding her delusions that her behavior is either normal or okay, you're a big part of the problem. So we're going to watch two more things real quick. First of all, we're going to watch the clip, some of the clip that Amber and the people in her chat were referencing in this live.
My friend messaged me and she was like, "Are you on a TV show?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "A video just popped up on my TikTok." And I was like, "Oh." And she was like, "Wow, I never knew that."
Do you feel like there's a lot of pressure on you at school from being on TV?
It's just weird. I've been seeing a lot of TikTok videos with like old clips and stuff.
Is there times when you watch any of the TikTok clips that are painful to watch?
I see like the older ones, like from when I was like 2.
Baby.
And it's just weird to watch because it's always like Amber like screaming at you and like you leave.
Let's see her. Let me tell you something. You don't talk to my damn dad like that. You hear me?
So that's one.
And then there was one clip where she like yelling like, "Why is Leah crying?" when she's in like a complete opposite room, like just leaving me. And it's just weird. Like I think those ones are kind of painful to watch because like it's little me.
Why is she crying like that, Gary?
2.
Get out of my house. Get out. Get out.
Daddy left you again.
3.
I just think I have a lot of like issues because of Amber and like the experiences that I've had. So
I know.
Leah then goes on to suggest that she wants to go to therapy so she can work through her issues, forgive Amber, and move forward, which is a very, very mature thing for a child to say. Now, in the current season of Teen Mom, the next chapter, which is combined the OG season and the Teen Mom 2 season to whatever shell of a cast is left. Jade, who is originally from Teen Mom Young and Pregnant and then moved on to Teen Mom 2 and now is part of the next chapter. Jade and Cheyenne are having a conversation about all of this, about Leah and Amber, and how heartbreaking it is that Leah feels this way, that she's seen all this, and the way that Amber reacts to it. And Jade's mother, Christy, is a drug addict, and she's an older version of Amber. She's literally just an older version of Amber. So Jade has lived Leah's life, basically. She didn't even have the good parental support system like Leah has with Gary, but she knows the selfish nature of someone like Amber as a parent. And they had a very interesting conversation.
How far does Amber live from here?
Not that far.
Yeah, 30 minutes.
You guys ever see Gary?
Not really, but he's gonna come to the party with Christina, Leah, and Emily. She doesn't leave the house or make plans to go and do anything.
First of all, excellent call out, because Amber, as we know, has melded to her couch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I never invite her to anything, but now, like, after all the energy put into a man instead of a child, to
That
me,
was crazy.
That's what don't sit right with me.
That whole situation was crazy. We're sitting with Amber.
This is my boyfriend.
Hello, everybody.
That's NoHo Hank, Amber's fleeting fiance, soon to be.
Maybe this is the Gary for you.
Amber Portwood,
Baby.
I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Will you marry me?
Yes.
Wow. That's the kind of romance that every little girl dreams of, you know? Gee, I sure wish in this very awkward moment NoHo Hank would have proposed to me before he goes missing.
Me and Amber are engaged now.
She just shows up again and thinks that we're all one big happy family. Amber's new fiance is missing.
This man broke me. I was stable because we were actually in love.
Yeah. Priority.
It's hard to watch.
It's triggering for me because I have a mother that is so, like, in herself, and herself is what is number one, and it makes me sick to my stomach. And
Hard to watch the behavior towards Leah. And then it's hard to see her blame.
I felt like I used to be Leah, like wondering why I wasn't number one for my mom. This whole energy that was put into this dude and the crying and the meltdown, I'm like, that should be
your
put
daughter, your kids.
into your family, because at the end of the day, you can always get a new man. You can never replace your children. And think about all the mothers in the world that have lost their children, and you have your child. It's like you
Healthy
should be
and everything,
ultimately
yeah.
grateful for that child's life. The kids should be number one always.
Period. And like, feel how you want to about Jade. I have no real big issues with Jade. But like, that's the truth. That's the reality. That's the reality. Because Jade's husband, Sean, is also a recovering addict. And in the early days of their daughter's life, he was still in active addiction. And she, they had a lot of ups and downs as far as their daughter went, but ultimately he went to rehab and came back, and she took him back when he changed. And that is an example of something. The reality is that Amber is continually enabled by people like Macy and Caitlin because they grew up in the same sort of way on reality TV. As young parents, they were the first, season of this show that would go on to become, a whole other thing. But like, at some point, by the age of 34-ish, y'all should be calling your friend out. Why is your daughter not your priority? They should have been doing it for years, and yet they continue to enable her. Oh, Ambi, we support you. Oh my God, yes, that's bullshit. Oh my God. Fuck out of here. I think it's good. And at some point, Cheyenne also had a conversation with Leah that was a very appropriate one. It wasn't like prodding or anything. And I think good on the two of them for saying something, because someone needs to. Amber has gotten away with this behavior for way too long. And it's nice to see one of these girls, also part of the franchise, say on camera, Amber's making the wrong choice. As a mother, I don't understand Amber's choices. It doesn't make sense to me why she doesn't prioritize her kid. This should have been said for a long time. Like, if you can take a look at Farrah Abraham and you can take a look at Amber Portwood and see that somehow Farrah Abraham, though there are problems there, trust, I'm not negating that. But to see that Farrah Abraham is a more attentive parent to her daughter than Amber Portwood is wild. I just wanted to watch this and complain about it, and you are the victim of my complaining, I guess. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about this? Do you care? Did you learn something? Did you figure out what my hair is doing yet? Because I haven't. Okay, well, thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Make sure you're subscribed and like the video, or else bad things will happen in 7 days. What am I, the ring? Enough. All right, bye.
I am the fucking victim.